Romans chapter 12 verse 2 from the NIV translation reads, "Do not conform any longer to the patterns of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and prove what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and acceptable will." Have you heard the phrase, "the medium is in the message"? The phrase was coined back in 1964 by Herbert Marshall McLuhan, a Canadian philosopher whose work is among the cornerstones of the study of media theory. He became internationally famous in the 1960s for his studies of the effects of mass media on thought and behavior. When he coined the phrase, "the medium is in the message," we didn't have personal computers or cell phones, and the internet did not exist. Today we understand what great foresight he had in predicting how our thinking is influenced by this digital age. Now, American journalist and writer Nicholas Carr, in his book The Shallows, talks about what the internet is doing to our brains. He writes the media supply the stuff of thought, but they also shape the process of thought. And what the net seems to be doing is chipping away at our capacity for concentration and contemplation. He goes on to say, "Whether I'm online or not, my mind now expects to take in information the way the net distributes it, in swiftly moving streams of particles." In his book, Nicholas Carr explores the detrimental effects of being exposed to the virtual world and how it physically affects our brains. The Apostle Paul's message to the Christians in Rome in chapter 12 verse 2 from the New Living Translation puts it this way: "Don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will know what God wants you to do, and you will know how good and pleasing and perfect his will really is." Look at how relevant this is today as we find our thoughts and the way our minds process material is affected by the world and technology all around us. With so many ongoing technological advancements, we find ourselves relying more and more on the internet in our daily lives. The fact is, we cannot stem the tide of information that bombards us day after day after day, but we can ask God each day to help us focus on him and shape our thinking through his presence in our lives. We need to ask God to calm and focus our minds, quiet our hearts, and fill us with his thoughts throughout each day. Look, let God's Spirit and his word, not the world, shape your mind. And that's your spiritual vitamin for today.